Hello my crafting friends, this is Robin Carter with Robin's Creations, and today I wanted to share with you some of the new items I've received from the 2022 January through June mini catalog. Let me grab that real quick. So this is the new mini catalog. Many of you have received or been able to view it on a PDF online, and if you go to my blog below, there will be a link to the PDF where you can view this. And I'm in love with so many sets in here, but today I wanted to show you the Flowering Fields suite. It includes two stamp set bundles, which is the Flowering Tulips and the Tulip Fields. So today I'm going to share with you some tips on coloring the flowers with the dies, and share with you some cards I've made with the other products as well. If you are a subscriber to my channel, thank you for subscribing. I'd appreciate if you would like and share this video, and if you are not a subscriber, I would really appreciate if you'd hit the subscribe button and receive notifications by ringing the bell for when my next videos come up. So today I'm going to share with you some tips on coloring the flowers. So this is a card I just recently made, my first play with the Flowering Tulips. So it includes many different dies, and let me show you the dies. There are 17 dies, and so this is a tip for storing your dies. I write how many dies here because even though it tells you on the front, it's in such teeny print that I don't want to have to view that when I'm putting away my dies. I know how many there are right there, and I count them before I put them away to make sure none have gone missing. So that's a tip for storing your dies. But I pre-cut some of these flowers right over here, and I pre-colored some yellow ones. I thought I would do my next one in yellow. So that's that color. So like I said, I pre-cut several of these, and I made myself a template like so many others have done, so I could kind of remember how to put these together. Now this one, I actually put a whole nother bud in this one, not just those three, and made it really full. But for mailing a card, that would probably be a little thick. So I made these by using the Abstract Artistically Inked stamp set. Whoops, my splatter. I used this to stamp on basic white paper and just kind of made some patterned. I wasn't real happy with that one, and these weren't so good, so I came up with another method that I like better to create these. Okay, so let me show you what I did. I got a blending brush. Let me find my yellow one. I kind of designate one brush to a basic color family, so this is like my yellows, and so we'll be using, I'm going to make another yellow. I'm going to start with the bud because that's the one I don't have here. So for my bud, you want this one, which is this die, and then a bud, a small one, but you get 3 of these in the die set, so you can cut 3 of those at once. I wish we would have received at least 2 of these because I like that one. I use that one in at least 2 of mine, if not all 3. Okay, so I'm going to push these others out of the way. So I can show you. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is just basically color it. I used crushed curry, I believe, on this, and if not, it'll just be a whole different family. So what I do when I first ink it up is I get out a laminated piece of paper, or just, you can even use the sheet that comes in your stamps, just to kind of get the ink flowing so it's not real strong, and then I just color. Now these are pretty tedious, and if you don't want to get your fingers as inky, you could use little tweezers, but I'm used to having inky fingers, so I just keep coloring. Okay, and let's color the other one. Get low on ink. Okay, now this one you're going to want to color on both sides because you fold over some pieces. Okay. Now, to really add some dimension to it, see, I got a yellow finger now. You want to take your die, put your die cut into it, and then add stronger ink. And this one I don't mind if it's heavy, because you want to see the veins of the flower. See that? I didn't quite get it here, so I'm going to try to get some more. I tried this with the sponge daubers, but they tend to not get in the little areas, and I find the blending brush does, because you can apply more pressure and get those little bitty bristles into the die. There, I like that. Now another thing you can do is you can emboss, run it through with an embossing technique on your die cut machine. Another option is to take, excuse me for reaching over, take your pick tool, also has a stylus on the end, and I found if you turn it over and run along where those vein lines are, whoops, that one's real little, so you have to be careful. You can also get some embossing. It's pretty hard to keep them in the die itself, running it with the Big Shot, or the, excuse me, the die cut machine. So that just gives it a little raised area. You can see that I did that with the embossing folder on this flower. I don't know if you can see the raised up part, and it naturally just caught more ink. So if you wanted to go back over it after you've done that. Okay, so then you'll want to be sure and clean off your dies, or you'll have yellow all over your paper the next time you go. And then, see, I didn't keep the right one. I'm supposed to keep a bud. So let's color the bud. Let me try to emboss this first and see if it just picks up more ink naturally because it's raised. So kind of find those grooves in the die and use your stylus. So there, I can see that one did really well. So I'm going to, again, grab some ink. And by using this little cellophane sheet, you can still pick up your ink. So, okay. This one you just have to color on one side. I lost the die, so we have multiples. Set that on top, get some stronger ink, and hold it in place, and really get into the flower. This one's got to have little hands and not worry about getting your finger inky. Okay, so there we go. So to make this bud, remember we colored both sides. So I'm just going to fold here and here. And this is the bottom of the bud because you kind of want it closed. And then you're going to stick this in here like that. So that's the reason why you want to color both sides, is because when you fold this, a little of the bottom may show. And so I tend to use liquid glue on this. This is my Tombow glue, which I just put in a small needled bottle. And here's a tip I use. This is a wide open medicine bottle. So I'm able to store my Tombow upside down so the glue is always ready to go. So I just want to put a small amount of glue there. Oops. Now I have glue on my grid paper, but that's okay. Set it in there. Oh, I have it upside down. Close your petal. And then you can just slide it in however far you want it in. Again, there's no magic formula of how far to slide it, just till it's like you like it. So I'm going to glue this side down as well over that part. I have to hold that one a second. And that one, I'll put a little squeeze of glue in there. Okay. So that is how you color the buds. Whoops. Got ink on my closing tube there. So I hope that helps you with coloring your flowers. I think this gives the most realistic approach, and you can always add more at the end if it's not how you like it. And then to create these flowers, I already pre-cut, stamped and die cut these leaves. Okay, and then while I'm here, I share this often on my videos, and I'm going to share it again. So what I do for each die cut like that is I create a frame. Okay, so when I stamp it in on the green, I can then put this around it. This might be a smaller flower. It's going to fit through. So let me just show you. I would line up like this and then tape this to my green, and then I can lay the die right where it needs to go. It's going to fit in that little groove where you've pre-cut. Washi that down, and then that way you always get equal bordering around your dies. So that's just a little tip when you go to die cut, especially with these stems. They're pretty hard to line up. Okay, so let me close my yellow ink. For this, I use the Flowering Fields Designer Series paper, just a 1 by 5 inch strip. And this is the die cut here. It's a border die cut, meaning it doesn't cut all the way out. And I have it die cut somewhere. This is my paper I use to cut all my flowers. And so here is the die cut. It doesn't cut all the way through, you can see. So I just take my paper trimmer, all that. Let me not get yellow on my card. Do I have that in full view? There I go. Alright, and you can just cut the scoring blade. And you don't need this whole thing, but if you want to get just that out of the way, then you have your flowers on a strip. So I'll put this over here or under my desk. So for this flower, I just took a little bit of it and trimmed it off at the bottom. I used the Stitch So Sweetly dies, the second largest one, I believe. Let me double check that for you. Yep, the second largest die on that one. And then I used the sentiment from the stamp set. Just thinking of you today. And again, I used a Stitch So Sweetly label for that and stuck it over here. And then the backing is white raspberry. Rich raspberry. Excuse me. In the background that I did emboss with a Time Worn Type 3D embossing folder. And I put the flowers on my white die cut, and then I put that on the card with dimensionals as well as the sentiment. So I hope you enjoyed that card, and I hope you got some tips on how to color these flowers. So it really is fun to create these flowers, and like I said, there is no magic for how to put them together. You can just cut them all, color them all, and start mix and matching how you like them. So I'll make this into a card later. It's very similar to this. I'll just use crushed curry for the accents in the yellow designer series paper. So that is with the flowering tulips bundle. So I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to show you some other cards I made with the Tulip Fields bundle. So this one was really fun too. But the biggest tip I have for you is to line up, use your Stamparatus to line up this stamp, which I have here. And sorry, I have several different stamps on my plates. I use the fronts and the back. So you'll want to line up this. I'll just take it off because we can do it again. Just be gentle with this one. You don't want to rip it in half. So this is the deluxe mat, which is a optional add-on purchase to your Stamparatus. And I love this. I also have a video on some tips of how to use it. This is what came in my Stamparatus, and I use it as a cushy for when I stamp my photopolymer stamps. So that is not a wasted thing. So I would probably have to get my head in, but you can line up this top row of flowers with your Stamparatus with the grid line sheet. Okay, so then you would close it, pick it up, and you also have grids on these plates, so I can usually look a second time to make sure I have them lined up with the lines, because you want a straight horizon. And that's how you get this first stamp right across here, is with the stamp set. And then this stamp is used to fill in all the different other rows. Same one, you just angle it and try to hit the center point. So I did use the retired Stamp-A-Majig to try to help me get those. I didn't get this one perfect, but I'm still happy with it. Now the fence, you actually get 5 different fence pieces to help you cut them faster. I do recommend you use the sticky sheets, put it on your paper, and then die cut it, because these things are teeny tiny. Let me take it out of the thing. I think it's showing a glare. So it makes it much easier to glue these in place. And then the clouds are also included in this set, and I did those in smoky slate to give a realistic look. And then before I put these on, I covered this up and sponged a pool party sky on that. Could have been a light balmy blue. And then the tree. Now the tree is all one stamp, and I just took my Stampin' Right marker, or you could use a blend marker, and colored the trunk of the tree brown. So there's your tip there. And this stamp is from this wonderful, that's not it. It's a celebration, here it is. It's a celebration option, a free stamp set with a $100 purchase called Special Moments. And it includes so many different amazing sentiments for just about any occasion you can think of. So this is a great option to choose with a $100 purchase. Okay, my second card, I stepped it up a little bit for this set. And I included my On the Horizon bundle, which I also couldn't resist. So I have a tulips in there, but that's okay. So I just used the dies from this set, and I cut the mountains. I've got a fence in there covering up. Let me pull that out so you can see it better. So I used this in Evening Evergreen, and I cut 2 pieces. And then I used the Detail Snowcap die on basic white and cut 2 of those. And then I put them on the card, and where they overlap together, I covered with the windmill, which I colored with my Stampin' Blends. So again, same technique, just a different look, exact same flowers. Oh, and I added the birds. The birds are stamp set with the On the Horizon. And then the bicycle is from the Tulip Fields dies right here. Okay, so I hope you enjoy these cards. This one I backed with the Evening Evergreen for the mountains, and this one is the Poppy Parade. Alright, so there's my tips for the day of these new stamp sets and bundles, and I hope you find some inspiration. I will have detailed pictures on my blog, which will be in the details below, a link to my blog. And if you would like to make a purchase, I will also include this month's hostess code in there. Or if you're going to purchase over $150, if you would choose me as your demonstrator Robin Carter in Flower Mound, Texas, when you place your order, I would really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. If you have any questions, let me know. Bye-bye.